Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab and today's video, which is going to be a Sephora haul. This is kind of collective haul over the past several weeks since Sephora has given us ample opportunity to use our 20% discount if you are VIB Rouge, which I am. And so I've been purchasing a couple of these items and I wanted to share them with you. I did purchase these over a span of time, not all at once. It's a lot. In any case, if you're new to my channel, I'm Yori. I'm happy you clicked on my video. If you enjoy this video and others like it, hopefully you'll consider subscribing, ringing my bell, and joining me for a future video. Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into the goodies. I've separated everything into categories, and in looking at it, I don't know that I'm going to be able to fit this all in a video, in a single video that isn't ridiculously long. So if I find myself going on and on for a little bit long, I will separate this into multiple videos, and hopefully you won't mind. But let's go ahead and start with some skincare type items. I didn't go too crazy with skincare this time because I have quite a few items in the skincare category that I've been working on continuously, and I have a lot of items that I haven't even opened yet. So I'm slowing down in that regard. But if you're not new to my channel, you are familiar with my love for the Brazilian Bum Bum cream. This always shows up in my empties, and the holiday time is a great time to pick it up because it is a pricey product. This is one of their gift sets. This is the Bum Bum Carnival Magic set, and it comes with a smaller version of the Bum Bum cream, a perf size. It has the lip balm as well as the body mist, and it's really beautifully packaged. I'll insert close-ups of everything so that you can take a closer look. This one retails for $38 and it's just a really nice sampling of their very best products. I really love everything that's in here. I haven't necessarily used this set, but I have used everything that comes in here and everything is great. So I do recommend you check that out. Another sort of skincare item that I have used on my channel in the past, or shown in my channel in the past, is by Youth to the People, and this is the Kale and Green Tea Spinach Vitamin Superfood Cleanser. Now, in one of my previous Sephora hauls, I did share that I wanted to try out this cleanser and I bought it in a gift set, and I did realize that I did enjoy the cleanser quite a bit, and so I wanted to purchase the full size. It comes with a pump and the product looks like so. It's a beautiful glass bottle, which can be a little dangerous if you keep your cleanser in the shower like I do. I have a tendency to use the Clarisonic on my face while I'm in the shower, so I store my cleansers in the shower, so this could be a little bit slippery, so be careful if you do that. But it does give you a very generous amount of product. It smells delicious, like greens literally, which is what's in here, and it's a light foaming cleanser, which I do appreciate a foaming cleanser, but I do have dry skin and this one doesn't strip your skin, so it's a great one. Highly recommend. I do love that one. The next product that I picked up is one that I have not used. This is by First Aid Beauty, and this is the Kona Eye Stick. It's supposed to hydrate, depuff, and prime for concealer. Now, I do have trouble with my under eyes. I've told you guys many times my under eye area is my problem spot, and I wanted to try the Bendy Avocado Concealer, which I'll show you a little bit later on, and this was sitting right next to it. Now, you all probably know of my love for the Tatcha Pearl, but I'm always looking for a good eye primer. I also enjoy the Pure Cosmetics Hydrogel Lift underneath my eyes, so I am interested in trying this one out. There's just something very convenient about a twist up product. Yeah, I'm interested in trying this out. It doesn't have the greatest reviews on Sephora.com, but I'll definitely report back on this one. Another kind of skincare type item that I have seen on almost everyone's channel is by Laneige, and this is a gift set. It's called the Kiss and Makeup set, which comes with 4 individual pieces. It has the sleeping mask, the lip sleeping mask, and 3 minis that are in other scents. The minis are in grapefruit, apple, and vanilla. And like I mentioned, these are basically lip balms. They're a little bit heavier in consistency, so you can use them overnight, but quite honestly, I wear mine all the time during the day. Here's what the little kit looks like, and honestly, the price of the set was only a little bit more than the price of the full-size item, so it was a really nice kit to pick up, and I can see why it was going in and out of stock online. Luckily, I found it in store. The next product that I did pick up is by Too Faced, and this is the Too Faced Peach Lip Balm. This is part of the Peaches and Cream collection, which I always love a good lip balm. My lips are really dry, especially in the winter time. I wanted to try this one. I love the way that the peach collection smells. It's not exactly the same as the peaches, the Peachy Matte palette, but it's similar. It's got a very nice peach scent, and I'm sure I'll enjoy that. Lip balms are something that I go through so quickly. The final product that could qualify as sort of a skincare, not really, but it's a personal care item, is a hair mist, and this is the Dior J'adore hair mist. I like this because I like to put perfume in my hair, but it's really bad for your hair actually, especially if they have alcohols. And this one says, this light and airy mist enriched with cotton nectar and jasmine blossom extracts brings shine and lightness to hair. Its delicate spray leaves hair enveloped in a subtle scent. Take the mist with you wherever you go for revived freshness and radiance that lasts all day long. So I like that this is something that was specifically made to go in your hair. I actually had a sample of this fragrance, and there's actually a couple of perfumes in the Dior J'adore line, so I'm not exactly sure which one this pairs with, but it definitely looks similar in terms of the bottle. It's a beautiful bottle. Let's go ahead and open it up. I wouldn't say that I'd carry it in my purse. It's a little heavy. Oh, it smells so good. I think putting fragrance in your hair is a really special way to wear it because your hair just sort of functions as its own natural diffuser, and it allows the fragrance to last a really long time. I'm really excited about this one. All right, not bad, not bad. I'm going along pretty quickly. So if you know me, you know I'm a brush fanatic. So I have a couple of tool type products, which I will show you now. Let me just get them out of these boxes. The first few are from Fenty Beauty. When she released her Moroccan Spice collection, she did release 2 new brushes. This one is the 210 tapered blending brush, and I also have the 200 all over eyeshadow brush. I like that they come with these brush shapers. I actually hold on to those because I use them when I wash my brushes. The brushes are very soft, but they do feel firm. Oh, I like how the blending brush feels. These are synthetic brushes. I believe that Fenty Beauty is a cruelty-free brand. I also already own her highlighting brush, and I quite enjoy that, so I wanted to give these a try as well. I also picked up the Kabuki brush. This is the 160 Face and Body Kabuki brush. This one was released when she released that Body Lava in the summertime. I never purchased the Body Lava, but I do have the Brazilian Bum Bum Glow Oils, and I like them, but I don't like to put them on my hands and all over my body. I don't like the way it feels on my hands, so I thought I could use this little brush to apply those oils and enjoy them a little bit more. So there's what that brush looks like. I think I actually saw Tara Babies haul this brush a long time ago, and I think she quite liked it, so I'm interested in trying this out. I like that it's nice and big, so I can cover a good surface area when applying those oils. I even got one of those in my Boxy Luxe box, so I have 2 of them, and I haven't been using them that much just because, like I said, I just don't like the application. So I think that this will allow me to enjoy them a lot more. Next is a very non-essential item. This is by Guerlain, and it's their brush that they specifically designed to use with their meteorites. I purchased the meteorites in my last haul, and I love them so much. They have become a staple in my makeup routine, and so I wanted to try the little brush that they designed just for it. Comes in a pouch. It's very fancy. I don't have too many products by Guerlain. It's a tiny little brush. The bristles are dyed, and it's supposed to pick up the perfect amount of powder. I don't know if this is really going to be worth the money. Right now it looks like the bristles, some of them are kind of coming off as I run my hands on it, but we'll see how it works. It feels a little prickly actually. Like, it's definitely not a soft brush, but we'll see how it works, and I'll definitely report back in a future video. All right, next we have 2 brushes from Huda Beauty, and they come in these sort of Ziploc pouches, but you have to tear off the top to get inside. The first one is the Face Bake and Blend brush, and this one was for the setting powder, and it is synthetic. Very soft brush. I like the angles of the brush actually. This one is like an angled powder brush, and then this one looks like a very nice under eye setting brush. It's very soft, but it is firm, and we'll see how I do. This one probably gives away one of the other items I purchased. It did have a shaper, but it's not possible to get that back in there, so I did also pick up the concealer brush. This one is called the Conceal and Blend, and it's also a dual-ended brush. Similar packaging as well. It looks like an interesting shape to get underneath the eye, and then you do have a tapered end. You could actually use this for cutting the crease or just getting really close to that inner corner. I usually struggle getting into that area actually, so I'm really glad to have that. Just something I wanted to try out from her collection. I am ever able to get the shaper back on the other side, but not so much on this little one without damaging the brush. So another brush which is giving away something I also purchased. This one is by Laura Mercier, and this is the Glow Powder Brush. I saw Desi Perkins use this. She did a sponsored video with Laura Mercier in which she demoed the Glow Powder, and I thought it was something really interesting, and the brush had such a unique shape. Here it is. It sort of has an angled shape which hugs the cheekbone. The only brush that I've seen similar to this is the Fenty Beauty, which has sort of that angle which will hug the curve of your cheekbone, but it's not as big as this. So this is definitely interesting. It's very soft brush. There's no information on here regarding the bristles that I can see. It just says that it can be used with any Laura Mercier Luminous Face Powder. Swirl the brush to pick up product, tapping off excess powder. Typical instructions for a brush. It is very soft and it's a really beautiful brush, very elegant looking. I'm very excited to try that. I really do love brushes. I'm like beyond therapy where brushes are concerned. I have another 3 brushes, and these are all from the Sephora collection. I like that they have these caps, which I definitely keep in case I travel with them. So let me open these up and then I'll let you know what they are. The first brush I wanted to talk about is the number 57. It is the Pro Airbrush Concealer Brush. My friend Jessica Kent, she has a channel here on YouTube. She recently did her favorite makeup brushes video, and this was one of her favorite brushes. She loves it for concealer, and it feels really nice. I've heard really good reviews about this brush from different people, so I'm excited to try that one. And the Sephora collection actually makes really nice quality brushes. The next brush is the number 62, and this is a fairly new brush to their line. It is called the Pro Fan Detail Brush, and I saw this online and I was really curious about it because I'm really enjoying my Sonia G brushes, which have that fan shape, and this one has that fan shape as well. Looks like it would be great for highlighting, pretty much anything you wanted to use a brush for. It's not labeled for any specific purpose. It just says Fan Detail number 62. Very, very soft brush. And lastly, we have a brush that I've always been curious about. This is the Pro Featherweight Blending number 93 brush, and it's just a very long, very light kind of brush. The only brush that I have that's remotely similar to this is by Luxie, and this one is a lot more flimsy than this one. This one retains its shape a little bit more, so you can use this to sweep away fallout, for highlighting, for whatever you want. I just think it's a beautiful brush and I've always wanted it, so why not pick it up on sale? So those are the 3 brushes from the Sephora collection. I actually love purchasing makeup brushes, and to be honest, these are not going to expire. If you take really good care of them, they're going to last you for years and years, so I never feel guilty about spending money on a brush. The last tool type item is something I also saw on Jessica's channel. This is just a nail file, but it's a crystal nail file, so it never really goes bad. It says that the glass file prevents splitting and peeling of your nails, and it's washable, sanitizable, and sterilizable. So basically you just use the nail file and you rinse it in water and it's good to go again. So that's really great. I think she was saying that they make baby nail files with this type of material. I've always wanted to be one of those girls that had a handy nail file in her purse. I've never been. I'm always the one that's going around asking for a nail file when I chip a nail or something like that. So I'm definitely glad to try this out, and it looks like a very nice sort of environmentally conscious product since it is reusable, and it's quite compact and pretty as well. I'm wondering if I should have put all those tools at the end. Maybe you guys really prefer the makeup. If I rearrange my video, it's probably because I wanted to put the more quote-unquote interesting things first. Oh, here's another tool item. This is the Sephora Lash Fuse and Curl, and this is something I saw on Emily Noel's channel. It's supposed to be a tool that will help you fuse your false lash and your natural lash together, which you can use a regular eyelash curler for that, but I don't know, something about the shape of this one. I think hers was like shorter. I'm not sure. I think I remember hers being a little bit narrow, so you can actually get the angles. This is all in one piece, so I'm not sure if I bought the right thing. I'll try it, it can't hurt. My eyelash curler is really, really old, so it probably can't hurt to have a new one anyway if it just turns out to be just a regular eyelash curler. So it appears to be just a regular eyelash curler. It does have 2 refill bands in there as well, so we'll see how this works. I'll definitely give it a try, and like I said, my lash curlers are really old. I actually don't use them that frequently, but I'll definitely give this pair a try. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the makeup, which I think is probably more interesting for you. I picked up a few powders, and by few, I mean 4. The first one that I picked up is by Laura Mercier, and this is the Translucent Glow Powder. I do have dry skin, and so I thought that this one would be good for me. So it looks very similar to the other powder, but it is labeled Glow underneath on the sticker. And it's sealed right now, but it looks very similar to the typical translucent powder. So I'm interested in trying this one. I also purchased the powder by Huda Beauty, and I grabbed the shade Pound Cake. This is the one Mel Thompson is always gushing about, and let's see, it says dip dense brush or beauty sponge into powder net, pack a generous layer under the eye, let the powder bake, and dust it away. Very cute packaging, and here's what it looks like. So it is a screw top, there's a stopper, so there's actually already quite a bit of powder there. Let me see if it smells as strong as people say. Oh yeah, it definitely has a perfume scent, but it's not an unpleasant scent. I could see if people are sensitive to fragrances, they may not enjoy this powder, but I actually like scented products. They don't irritate me, and as long as I think they smell good, I actually enjoy them. I also purchased this one by Charlotte Tilbury, which interestingly enough is not on the website anymore, on the Sephora website, but I found it in store. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Soft Focusing Light Diffusing Loose Powder, and here's what that one looks like. It's the magic powder for under eye and face, and I picked mine up in the shade number 2, which is for fair to medium skin tones. Okay, so this one has that sort of spin sifter similar to the Becca under eye setting powder. I've also heard comment about this smell. To me, it doesn't smell bad, but the smell isn't pleasant per se, so I can see why the scent would bother some people. I wonder if that's why they're taking it off the website, but it's on the Charlotte Tilbury website, and it's still in my Sephora, so I definitely want to try this. And again, I picked up the shade number 2. Another product I picked from Guerlain is another Meteorites product. I love the other one so much. It left me with such an incredible impression of just what a difference that makes in the makeup routine, and I have since done that step. It smells the same. This packaging is gold. This is a limited edition one. This is the 190-year limited edition packaging, and it is just says electric pearl. I'm a little concerned because there's powder in the box and then there's powder on the package itself. Now they have that nice soft violet scent that the other pearls do, but this one didn't come with like a pad that's right on top to sort of keep them down, and I wonder if this was used. I don't think so. I bought it online, but it's just concerning that there would be powder all over. And I just removed that little thing. I don't know, it just seems like it may have been used. It's hard to tell with a product like this because they are just little beads. I'll try them and see. It appears to be full, so the only other person I saw haul that was Tara Babies, and she didn't make a comment about any pad inside either, so maybe it just doesn't come with one. Oh, I have another skincare product that I missed, so I will share that with you now. This one is by Fresh, and this is the Black Tea Instant Perfecting Mask. I love this mask so much. It's such a pleasure to use, and it's just a wash-off mask that you can use. I tried this in a holiday set from Fresh maybe 2 years ago, and I have loved it ever since. It's the Black Tea Instant Perfecting Mask with advanced antioxidant smooths and immediately softens. Now, it's not a dramatic result that you get, but I do find that it seems to just give me smoother complexion. My skin feels really fresh. It says you can use it 2 to 3 times per week, leave on 5 to 10 minutes, and you just rinse it off. What I love about this mask is the fragrance, actually. Oh, this smells so good. It smells so earthy and spa-like. The bottle that I had before, I made that last because this is really expensive. It's close to $100 and this is a 3.3 ounces. This is such a pricey item and I actually didn't care for their soy cleanser. I didn't like that it didn't foam up too much, but this one, it made a lasting impression on me. Oh, it just smells amazing. I can't wait to use it. I'm gonna use it tonight actually when I wash off all my makeup. All right, let's go ahead and get into some eyeshadow palettes. I know people usually love to see what eyeshadow palettes are in hauls, and mine is no different. I've got quite a few eyeshadow palettes here to share with you. I'm not gonna swatch any of them since my video is already quite long. I will insert close-ups so that you could see everything really, really closely, and I will review for you in a separate video, so make sure to let me know in the comment section down below which ones you're interested in the most. So I picked up two palettes from Huda Beauty. The first one is one of these mini Obsessions palettes, and I picked up the Ruby Obsessions. This is the one that's red themed, obviously, and this is what the palette looks like. I just think it's beautiful, and they have such a fun color story. I'm one that I really enjoy colorful makeup, and they are so compact and travel friendly, and you actually get a lot of product even though the packaging is quite small. I just love how compact they are, and you have a very complete color story, a very nice mixture of mattes and shimmers. Really enjoy this formula. I did enjoy her Desert Dusk palette. It was one of my favorite palettes of last year, so I'm sure this will be no different. The second palette that I picked up is the brand new nude eyeshadow palette. I saw Mel Thompson do a review on this, and I saw Samantha Ravndal do a review on it today actually. She had 4 different eye looks, and even though the color story is very, very similar, it's very rose gold, very rose toned, you can get a lot of looks out of this one. And at first I was a little bit worried because I wasn't sure that this was gonna work on someone of my skin tone. It just looks like something that would be more, oh, it's always so beautiful. Like her presentation is always very, very beautiful. And here's what the eyeshadow palette looks like. I'm sure you've seen it. A lot of people are picking up this one. And it has a couple of different formulas. So there's some pressed glitters, which I think are similar to like the initial textured rose gold palette. But then there's this new formula here that looks almost marbled. I'm very curious to try those. And I do love her matte formula. I've used it before. When you swatch it, it feels a little bit dry to the touch, but they apply and blend so beautifully. I am a fan. I see that she has included a concealer base here, which people are commenting about, and I agree. I'm not too keen on having a cream product so readily accessible to something like a pressed glitter because it's just a mess waiting to happen. Now I know Huda Beauty has been a brand that has taken inspiration from other brands, so maybe she should have taken inspiration from Lorac. They always include an eyeshadow base in their palette, but it's in a separate container. So if she thought that was really important, then maybe just have a little packet of an eyeshadow base. That's just me because I just feel like it's gonna make a mess. But anyway, everybody that has tried this palette has given it a very positive review, and I cannot wait to put this one on my eyes. My battery is about to die. This is definitely a sign that I'm taking too long. I apologize if there's been any change in composition, but my battery died and here we are. So the next thing I picked up is actually that was inspired by Lauren May Beauty. I love her channel because she does really creative makeup. She's a working makeup artist and her looks are always really fun, and she does colorful as well as neutral. And she wanted this palette. It's by Tarte, and it is the Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust eyeshadow palette. And she was laughing at herself a little bit for wanting it, but I kind of wanted it too. And so when I saw that they still had it at my Sephora, I decided to pick one up. And here's what the palette looks like. Very similar to the Huda palette. Tarte did it first though. I'm sure this is kind of similar to the Naked Cherry palette as well, maybe. Maybe I should compare all the palettes and see how they do. Let me know if that would be something you would be interested in. I really like this palette. I think that it's a very nice, neutral kind of everyday palette, and I like that the range of color tones, they go from very light to very deep. So you have your basic shades, your basic matte shades to do a brow bone highlight, to deepen out the crease, to use as liner, and then you have a couple of selection of shimmer shades that would change the mood of the look, and I just think it's really pretty. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see a color story when the packaging it's got a color in and of itself, so but I think that it's really pretty. She was very happy with it, and so I decided to pick that one up, and surprise, surprise, I have an extra one. So it's definitely a secret giveaway time. I did this in my BoxyLuxe unboxing video and I felt really great about that. I think that it's a great way to give back to the people that are actually watching my videos. And the winner of that giveaway was Nocturnal Butterfly. She's from Canada and I happily shipped away the Tarte Park Avenue Princess palette to her and she received it, and I felt really good about that. If you have a channel, let me know how you do your giveaways because I want to do a 5K giveaway or a holiday giveaway or an end of year giveaway, since I know not everybody celebrates holiday season. But it's just, you know, the mass exodus that happens when your giveaway ends. A lot of people unsubscribe and the winner could potentially be like not a true supporter. So I'm definitely going to keep doing these little secret giveaways. Make sure you check the description box to see how you can enter to win your very own Tarte Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust palette. The only thing you have to do is be subscribed to my channel. A couple of other things will give you some bonus entries. So that's just for my subscribers that are actually watching my videos. And just let me know what you think about me doing a larger giveaway where it's just a giveaway video. I have been collecting a few things and we recently reached 5K on my channel, which I think is so exciting. And I got the community tab, which I think is so exciting. And the holidays are coming, which is so exciting. And I'm getting a vacation. So a lot of really exciting things to celebrate. I don't know if I should just scatter the things here and there or do an actual giveaway. I'd love your advice. The next eyeshadow palette that I purchased is from Bobbi Brown, and I think that this is probably the very first time I have shared a Bobbi Brown product. No, I'm lying. I had some lip products. I had some of the squeezable lip products that I bought in a set, but I don't have too many products from Bobbi Brown. I just think that the brand is just kind of geared towards maybe like an everyday makeup kind of wear, and I have a lot of products like that already, so I specifically seek out certain things from her brand. When I was passing by the Bobbi Brown gondola, I saw this. I also heard Makeup Struggles talk about this, and I was like, that is so out of the brand's usual style that I had to see it for myself. It's the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today, and it's a purple palette. And it's interesting because my friend Alice from Alice in the Rabbit Hole, I'll link her down below too. You should check out her channel. It's amazing. But she was commenting one time that, you know, there weren't a lot of purple palettes available, and this is a purple palette. Even this shade right here, which looks taupey, when you put it on your lid, it has a purple vibe. It's crazy. And then these shades here are so beautiful. I've worn the palette twice already, and you'd be surprised you can get a variety of looks from it. And I just think it's so unique, very high quality. The packaging is beautiful. It's a small palette with only 8 shades, but you can do so much with it. And I love the packaging. It shifts purple green. That's a very nice color combination. I think I'll do an eyeshadow look like that with purple and green shadows. But I just had to try it. This is called the Ultraviolet eyeshadow palette, and I think she made an infrared one, which is a play on the electromagnetic spectrum. I really wanted to try this one out, and so far it's working out really, really well. If you'd like to see a detailed review, just let me know, but this is what the shadows look like applied. I didn't use any of those glittery shades. I just used one of the metallics all over the lid, and I blended it out with that taupey shade, but I really like it. Next, we have another Charlotte Tilbury product. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Stars in Your Eyes palette. It is so exciting that they have Charlotte Tilbury at Sephora right now. I know that this palette is sold out on Sephora. However, there are other retailers that still have it. So I link all the products down in the description bar. So wherever I find that it is still in stock, I'll link it from there if Sephora doesn't have it anymore. It's a limited edition item, but you can still find it if you're really interested in it. It's an interesting concept. It's a very thin palette. When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know. It kind of looks like that previous palette that she made. It was like, I forget what she called it, but it's about the same size. It was also limited edition. And usually she has those quads instead, or the instant look in a palette kind of thing. And those, again, are a little more neutral for my taste. But I did like this one because it's a very nice all-in-one kind of eyeshadow palette. And you have 4 different looks that you can do with different color stories. Now, in my opinion, everything to the left here is sort of a warm neutral. And then you have a berry kind of side. This palette has gotten such good reviews. Her other eyeshadow palettes, though I think they've they're pretty. I haven't been so inclined to splurge on a quad, and I thought this is a little bit bigger than a quad. A little more expensive than a quad too, but again, I got really good reviews and I really wanted to try that one. So that is the Stars in Your Eyes palette. The next one that I did pick up is from Sephora collection as well, and this is the Sephora Pro Pigment palette, and it is the Editorial 2.0. I actually bought the Editorial, the first version that they had. It was one of my earlier videos on my channel. I did 2 looks using that palette. I swatched it and I actually really enjoy that palette. I still use it. I think that it's really great quality, and when I saw that they teased 3 new palettes in the line, I knew I was gonna have to have them, and I may or may not have bought them and am not including them because I'm ashamed. But I'll show you this one for now, and maybe I'll show you the others in a future video. But I really like this palette. I'm especially drawn to the bottom half, which right now you're looking at the top, but I just love those greens and blues, and I think that this is gonna pair so well with the other palette. I love that you have a very nice big mirror at the top, which sort of props itself up, and then not only that, the colors that you have in here are gonna match beautifully with the colors in the existing Editorial palette, so I'm looking really forward to playing with those. Just really, really pretty. They also did respond to customer feedback. One of the complaints was that the names were not on the palette itself. We always love the names to be on the palette itself, and they did do that for this release, and they did not increase the price. Good thing, because it's pretty expensive. Another nice thing about these palettes is that they do give you a card. It's got a pamphlet with different looks that you can do, and the models do have like different skin tones and different eye shapes, so you can find some inspiration for yourself if inspiration is missing one day. So I do like that, and I like to keep those as well. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry or not feeling very inspired, I'll recreate one of the looks from the pamphlet. The next eyeshadow palette that I got, I did mention on my channel I was going to be purchasing it. This is the Too Faced Then and Now eyeshadow palette, and to be perfectly honest, the color story of this palette, it doesn't really inspire me. It's very Too Faced, very typical of Too Faced, but as an anniversary palette, I think that's actually appropriate, don't you think? For them to do what they're typically known for. I did mention that I wanted this palette for collecting. It's a beautiful eyeshadow palette. There's beautiful shades in here, but you have your typical Too Faced neutrals, your purples that they always include in every palette. Very large palette. I can't say that it needed to be this big, but hey, if you're celebrating, then, you know, go big or go home, right? I really like it. They have some of their shades from 1998 and then the revamped shades from 2018, so they're very pretty. I can definitely see creating some really nice looks with this. Now, if you're considering a Too Faced palette, one of my favorite palettes that Too Faced has ever created has been the Chocolate Gold Bar palette. That one only has 4 mattes. I think it's 4 or 5 mattes at the most, and they are your most basic mattes, but the metallics in that palette are incredible. You can really create a lot with that palette. It was the holiday palette from last year, which I also reviewed on my channel, but it's still available, and if you haven't taken a look at that, I do recommend it. I have 2 more eyeshadow palettes to mention, and feel free to abuse me in the comment section because I have an explanation. Whether or not you'll buy it, you let me know. I don't know if you follow Trend Mood on Instagram or Hot Fire Makeup. They are 2 sneak peek makeup Instagram accounts, and they sneak peeked these Violet Voss mini palettes. I think they're about $18 a piece, and there are 4 of them. There's the Berry Burst, the Creme Brulee, and then there was a Macaron palette as well as a more colorful palette. I can't remember the name of that one. It's escaping me right now, but that was more like a rainbow palette, a little bit more pastel. The Macaron one was all metallic shadows. When I was thinking about if I would purchase anything from that collection, I thought it was the other 2 I would be more interested in. But when I went to the store and I saw these, I really tried to fight myself. I really tried. I was running around all over trying to see if perhaps I already owned the shades that are in this palette. I was comparing it to every eyeshadow palette that was there. And even my boyfriend, who was with me and wishing I would hurry up, had to admit that I could not find a dupe for the shades that attracted me to this palette. So here's what the palette looks like. This is the Berry Burst palette, and it's so cute. It is just 10 shades in a color story, and in the bottom you have warm neutrals, and in the top you have more of those berry tones, very much in the mood of the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette, the Tarte palette I just showed you, and even the Huda Beauty palette maybe. But what I do own in this type of shade range is the Dose of Colors Berries eyeshadow palette, although that one doesn't have any metallics. But let me tell you, this right here is the shade that made me buy the palette. This shade. Just one. I'm going to actually swatch that one for you because I'm convinced I don't have anything like it. I can show you the shadow better from back here, and it is a pink metallic with an orange shift. It's a very peachy kind of shadow. There. That angle gives you the most realistic representation of what the shadow looks like. And I was thinking maybe the Sweet Peach palette has it. Maybe the Natasha Denona Cranberry palette has it. I went looking all over for this shade and I couldn't find it. Like none of them were just this. And I purchased the Violet Voss Flamingo palette and I had a fantastic experience with that palette. I love it so much. It's gonna be one of my favorites for this year. I definitely reviewed it and created a couple of looks with that palette. So I like the formula already, and if it's the same formula, I think I'm gonna love this palette. And again, I like that it is a complete palette, very portable, very small, and I just love this shade. I was debating on whether to wear this or the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow palette for today's video, and I chose the Bobbi Brown because I hardly ever do cool tone looks, number one, and number two, I just don't have that many Bobbi Brown products, and so I wanted to experiment. So along the same vein, I picked up this one. This is the Creme Brulee, and this is just warm neutrals. Warm neutrals that are in every single palette, especially Violet Voss or Morphe or anything. I have Soft Glam. But again, I went around looking for a specific shade in this palette and I couldn't find it. And I love the shade so much I couldn't bring myself to put it down. So here's what that palette looks like. I know, it's earth-shattering. Anyway, the eyeshadow that I fell in love with in this palette is this one right here. It is that pukey brown mustardy kind of color, but it's got shimmer in it. And typically I don't like mattes that have shimmers. They bother me. Like I usually will tap off my brush to get the shimmers out, but this one, it has shimmers in there, and something about the tone is really unique. You can see this one a lot better. It looks a little patchy actually on the screen. It doesn't look patchy on my hand. I went around and I tried to find it in the Natasha Denona Gold palette. You know how that mustard shade is in there, but that's a lot more mustard. This one is a lot more like camel, and I just wanted that shade. And so I bought the whole palette, and I'm not sorry because it was on sale and it was only $18, and I already like Violet Voss eyeshadows. And so that happened. I could do a whole video where I can try to go through my whole collection and see if I find those shades to see if I did right or if I did wrong. Feel free to tell me if you could think of any dupes that you think might be similar. For right now, I am not one bit sorry, and I'm actually looking really forward to applying these. Alright, so listen. We have been here. I have made it through 3 full half-hour cycles of filming because my camera shuts off after half an hour, and I haven't finished showing you everything. So I think another haul is in order. Please make sure and give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy hauls so I won't feel so bad filming another one so soon. I'll just tell you about 2 final products that I've used in the past so I can give you a quick mini review on those. The first is by Dior, and this is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I picked mine up in the shade Too Warm Olive. This is what the foundation looks like. I was very interested in this one because I love the MAC Face and Body Foundations. It's one of my favorite ones, and so I wanted to try out this one by Dior. I also had a very positive experience with the Dior Air Flash Foundation. I really loved it. It gave me great color match, great coverage. It was great on my dry skin, so I wanted to try this one. I have tried it. I love it. It's excellent. They have an enormous shade range. I think they have about 40 shades, so I would recommend going in store if your store carries Dior to match yourself. Sephora added a function to the app, which is a shade finder, where you can input any foundation that you wear that you think is a good color match for you, and then the one that you're interested in, and they will tell you if there's an exact match or the closest match. So I would recommend it. It's been working pretty well for me. I actually tested it, so I put in like a foundation I know matches me really well, and then I picked other foundations that I own, and the shade was like either spot on or within 1 to 2 shade differences where I think I could have made the foundation work. So as a last resort, it's not a bad way to go. In any case, it's a good foundation for dry skin. I do recommend it, but it is different than the MAC one in that this is a lot more thick and it also has more coverage. So the MAC one is very watery and has very lightweight coverage. This one is thicker and it's a little less luminous. Still beautiful, still works well on dry skin. Other one I wanted to mention is the Beauty Blender Bounce Liquid Whip Long Wear Foundation. I've worn this several times, and let me tell you, I know people are mad at this brand, and I get it. I get it. They really need to pay close attention to the lighter and the deeper end of the spectrum in their foundation range. But their formula, if we focus on the formula, is incredible. It's very hard for me to find a foundation that I truly love. I have a few that I really love on the affordable end as well as on the more expensive high end. I can definitely make a video about my favorite foundations for dry, more mature skin. If you're interested, just let me know. But this foundation, when I say it looks like skin, it looks like skin. It's stunning. It's one of the more heavier coverage foundations that I have come to love. I picked mine up in the shade 3.30. It's beautiful. If you haven't tried it and you can find a shade that matches you, ask for a sample and try it. Just ask for a sample and try it and see what you think. Interestingly enough, and this is probably blasphemy to the brand, but my favorite way of applying the foundation is with a brush. I tried it with a beauty blender. It's fine. It's fine. But I love using a brush like this. This is my Zoeva 102 Silk Finish brush, and I like that the brush is densely packed, but it's a little bit flexible as well. I love to paint on the foundation. I'll use a flat foundation brush and just paint it on, and then I will buff it into my skin in circular motions with this. Try it. If you can find it in your shade, try it. I'm only sorry I didn't try it before. And as far as the container, at first I was using the reservoir to grab the foundation, but honestly then I had to keep cleaning it, so I went back to using the little dishes that I always do because I found it irritating to have to clean the surface of the foundation before putting it back. And whatever, the packaging is cute, it was innovative. I definitely give them credit for trying to do something different, and it does promote their own tool for applying the product, which I get it, that, you know, I get it, but beautiful formula. I have to cut myself off here. This is insane. I'm gonna put the rest of the stuff in a bag and I will show it to you in another video. Don't forget to give this one a thumbs up if you enjoyed the haul videos. As far as the products that I couldn't give you any information about, let me know how you would like to see those in a future video, whether you'd like to see like maybe a full face of first impressions. I can definitely do that. Try to get ready with me where I can tell you kind of what I've been up to and if my job is gonna go on strike or not. It's been a stressful couple weeks. I think a strike is very likely, and you know, if you're worried about money, then the smart thing to do is to buy all this makeup, right? Retail therapy makes me feel better, and then I have stuff to use on my channel and share with you guys, so I'm definitely happy to do that giveaway. Don't forget to enter. The link is in the description box, and I will have all the rules and date at which the giveaway will end. Also, if you have any feedback with regard to future giveaways, I'm all ears. Help me out, especially if you're a creator yourself. I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from. Anyway, that's it for this haul. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're interested in seeing more review type videos, I will share my previous video that I posted, which was a haul follow-up similar to Tiff Jeff 069. I will do a haul follow-up on all of this, but if you'd like to see it in any other capacity, just let me know down below and I'll be happy to do what I can. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. Be safe, enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon on my next one. Bye-bye.